The good ship lifestyle. Cheerilee did not enjoy visiting her mother. There was nothing wrong with Cheerilee's mother. She was a nice pony. She was kind, sweet, easy to talk to. Whenever Cheerilee came to visit, her mother would make the most delicious little cakes that reminded her of being a little filly. She and her mother would talk about how her class was doing, what had been going on in Ponyville, how nice the weather had been the past week. This is all nice, pleasant conversation. Nothing wrong with it at all. But when the delicious little cakes had all been eaten, the activities of her students detailed, and the events and climate of Ponyville exhausted as a topic, then... "So, Cheerilee, is there a special sun pony in your life?" Yep, there it was, without fail, every time. "Because it would be a shame if you never found the time to find a stallion who's right for you." If there was a subject that really seemed to interest her mother, it was Cheerilee's love life. "Or a mare, I mean. Who am I to judge? But as long as you found some pony..." She could talk for what seemed like hours, listing off all the things that might make Cheerilee a good partner, and then somehow turn all those good traits into one big negative. Like it was somehow her fault for being single while having all these dateable qualities. "Because, I'm not getting any younger, and I want to see some grandfoals someday." Cheerilee sighed inwardly and tapped her hoof against the side of the plate her little cakes had arrived on. It was going to be a long visit. Cheerilee checked over her shopping list one more time, then tucked it into her saddlebag before rounding the corner that opened on the marketplace. First on the list, rose petals. She headed right for Rose's stall, eager to get her shopping done before anything was sold out. "Hey, Cheerilee, how are things with you and Big Macintosh?" Rose asked. "I don't know. We haven't run into each other in a couple days. Fine, I guess." Rose blinked. "But I thought you were getting married!" Cheerilee closed her eyes and sighed. "No, we're not," she said with a strained smile. "But didn't the two of you wreck a couple of buildings just the other day? What's a more obvious sign of love than wanton property destruction?" "That was just a little mix-up involving some of my students." Rose's face fell. So you two aren't getting married?" "Nope, we're not even dating." Cheerilee wondered if she shouldn't have given Apple Bloom, Sweetie Belle, and Scootaloo a more severe punishment than writing out "I must not meddle in my teacher's relationships" 100 times each. "That's too bad. You two looked really cute together." "Goodbye, Rose," Cheerilee said, slamming her bits down for the flowers with more force than was needed. She made a rapid exit. Rose and my mother would get along great, Cheerilee thought as she made her way through the marketplace. If they were ever in a room together for 5 minutes, they'd probably hatch some plan to cook up more of a crazy love potion. The next stall she had to hit was Daisy's for, well, appropriately enough, Daisy's. The stall was never without a queue, as daisies were popular food, and daisies were the best. Cheerilee got in line behind a cream-colored pony. Said cream pony noticed her and spun around and started conversation. "Morning, Cheerilee," said Bon Bon. "Good morning." She was trying to remember how she knew Bon Bon. Maybe it was just one of those things. When you live in a small town, you learn every pony's name eventually. "So," Bon Bon said with a knowing smile, "what's this I hear about you and Twilight Sparkle?" "Not again," she thought. Trying to keep her face friendly and her smile pleasant, Cheerilee answered, "I don't know what you mean. What have you heard about me and Twilight Sparkle?" "Well, Bon Bon dropped her voice into a conspirator's whisper. "The school teacher, the local egghead, 2 masks of intellectualism that conceal a passionate romance carried on behind closed doors and between library sacks. Eh?" She raised her eyebrows. No! What? Wherever did you hear that?" "So you're telling me you're not part of a raging, torrid, heated, sapphic affair with Twilight?" "That's exactly what I'm saying," Cheerilee said, trying to keep her face as neutral as possible. "Oh, well," a devilish grin crossed her face, "if you ever know, or let me know." She dropped Cheerily a sly wink and turned around, leaving Cheerily utterly dumbfounded as she ordered 24 daisies. What in Equestria is going on this morning? Cheerily found herself wishing she was still in bed, that this was all just part of a very strange dream. She watched Bon Bon walk away with her daisies. She thankfully had no further theories to share about what she and Twilight did while no ponies were around. Cheerily stepped up to Daisy's stall and placed her order. 20 daisies, please. It was then she noticed the ridiculously exaggerated grin on Daisy was giving her. Oh, not you too! Okay, out with it. Which pony do you think I'm dating? No pony at all, Daisy said, her smile still in place. Well, that's a relief. Can I? Because you're dating Spike. Daisy's smile threatened to split her head if it got any wider. Spike? The dragon? You gave him a hat for his birthday. But he's a dragon, and I'm not a dragon. It was so cute. I don't even think he's of age. Don't you think it's cute? Daisy! Cheerily held Daisy's gaze with her own. I am not dating Spike. Aw, Daisy pouted. Why not? Because, aside from some very basic biological incompatibilities, I'm pretty sure it's illegal. That's a shame. You two would be so adorable together. Cheerily groaned. Can I please just get my 20 daisies, please? Sure, here you go. She pushed the daisies across the counter. But don't you go counting Spike out so soon. He's quite the catch, you know. Cheerily backed away from Daisy's stall so quickly that she collided with something violently pink standing behind her. If Daisy's smile had been impossibly wide, Pinkie Pie's grin must surely have been touching somewhere at the back of her head. She giggled at Cheerily like she had discovered a great secret. You and Daisy? She managed, looking like she was trying not to spontaneously combust. I don't believe it! I don't believe it either, Pinkie. Maybe the whole world had gone mad and had forgotten to tell her. I'm so happy for both of you. This calls for Cheerily as a special sun pony, and that special sun pony is Daisy party. Would you mind walking me through how you figure this all out? Well, I saw the two of you talking just now. Cheerily waited for something more to come, and when nothing did, she asked, And that's how I knew you two were getting together. That's it? We were talking? Uh-huh. Pinkie Pie nodded vigorously. I barely know. I was just buying some food. But don't you think you'd be perfect for each other? I mean, Daisy knows all about daisies, and you have daisies on your cutie mark. Cheerily reached around to look. Actually, I'm not really sure what kind of flowers these are. Maybe Daisy can help you figure that out. Pinkie, I'm not involved with Daisy. Not even a little? Not even at all. I'm not involved with her, or Spike, or Twilight, or Big Mac. Not any pony. No pony? Pinkie asked, puzzled. None at all. Not even Carmel? No. Or Fluttershy? No, not Fluttershy either. Or Brayburn? I don't even know who that is. You mean... Pinkie's expression was unreadable. It was like she was trying to comprehend the incomprehensible. You mean you don't have a special sun pony? That's right. I do not have a special sun pony. Cheerily breathed a sigh of relief. Maybe now Sun Pony would start listening to it. Then I have to find you one! Pinkie Pie exclaimed. Oh no! No, 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 no! Cheerily felt lightheaded as she saw Pinkie take an impossibly deep breath and announce to the marketplace. Hey, every pony! Who wants to help me find Cheerily finds a special sun pony? It was like the entire population of Ponyville suddenly converged around them. Cheerily was surrounded by a sea of ponies who had dropped whatever it was they were all doing the moment before to lend their 2 bits in her love life, each clamoring to be heard over the furor of shouted suggestions. Nurse Redheart! Shouted a pony to Cheerily's left. No! Nurse Redheart's with Thunderlane! Retorted a voice from the crowd. No, you're wrong! Cried another pony from somewhere behind Pinkie. He's hooked up with Time Turner! And Nurse Redheart's with Aloe from the spa, came yet another voice. Vera then! Vera's seeing Berry Punch! The great and powerful Trixie, called a voice from somewhere in the crowd. The voice received a smattering of boos. Carrot Top? No, her and Apple Cobbler aren't at him. How about Rainbow Shine? She's dating Rainbow Dash. I thought Spitfire was dating Rainbow Dash. No, I'm dating Rainbow Dash, Pinkie exclaimed, rearing up on her hind legs. I'm dating Rainbow Dash too, shouted Daisy. And me, cried Amethyst Star, pushing her way to the front of the crowd. Me too, so am I. She told me we had something special. Quiet, Pinkie yelled. A tense silence fell over the crowd of ponies. Now, she asked, every pony raise your hoofy for your currently dating Rainbow Dash. She put her hoof in the air. The entire crowd did likewise, when the arguments erupted like a torch being tossed into a bonfire. Cheerily, her forehoofs still firmly on the ground, realized no pony was paying attention to her anymore. She pushed back through the crowd, keeping her head low and forcing her way past the ponies, loudly insisting they were the right special sub-pony for Rainbow Dash, until she finally stumbled out of the babbling throng. She took a deep breath, then seized the opportunity. She bolted. Cheerily dashed down the street, eager to get away. She had no sooner passed a couple of storefronts when she was grabbed and forced into one of the buildings. Hey, what? She tried to yell, but was cut off by a loud and forceful shh. Cheerily took a quick look around. She had been dragged into Sugar Cube Corner and standing in front of her was Mr. and Mrs. Cake? Shh, Mrs. Cake said again. They'll hear you. It's all right, dear, Mr. Cake said, glancing out the window. I think they're too busy to notice. Phew. Cheerily cleared her throat. Would you mind telling me what this is all about? Dear, Mrs. Cake said, we're helping you hide. We normally hide until they calm down, Mr. Cake said as he surreptitiously flipped the open sign on the door to close. Wait, the town bothers you with this too? Cheerily was aghast. But you're married. Shh. And we know there's no making sense of any pony when they're like this. No matter how many times we tell them we're happy together, some pony will insist I'd be better off with Pinkie Pie. Or me with Mayor Mare, said Mr. Cake from his position beside the window. The Cakes exchanged a glance, then rolled their eyes in unison. So how do you... Cheerily started to ask when she was interrupted by Mr. Cake. Some pony's coming, he said in a strained whisper. Shh! Exclaimed Mrs. Cake and then forced Cheerily down behind the counter. A melodic voice came from just outside the door. This store is closed. I shall not moan. I can make cakes on my own. The market's open. It's not too late to find a way to celebrate. Cheerily popped her head up just in time to see Zeccora's striped flank disappear past the window of Sugar Cube Corner. She and Mrs. Cake crept closer to the window, listening with Mr. Cake. Ponyville is rarely quiet, Zecora was saying to herself. But this almost looks like a riot. She cautiously approached the crowd of arguing ponies. Could I ask, if I may, why are you so worked up today? Pinkie Pie worked her way to the head of the crowd. Zecora, do you have a special some pony? Some zebra? She scratched her head. A mate I've not had time to find. Do you have some pony special in mind? That's the worst possible thing she could have said, Cheerily whispered. The Cakes exchanged another glance, then nodded without speaking. The suggestions from the crowd came thick and fast. Lily! Rainbow Dash! The great and powerful Trixie! Cheerily backed away from the window. What's gotten into them? Every pony doesn't need to be in a relationship at all times. I don't. I'm okay with being single. Sure, having some special some pony would be nice, and maybe my mother would get off my back about me not having seen anyone in 3 years. But if the whole town is getting involved... She looked to Mr. and Mrs. Cake for some understanding. We know, dear, Mrs. Cake said. They just get this way when there's unpaired ponies about. Can't stand to see any pony being alone, I think. They don't mean any harm by it. But why? Cheerily asked. Why is it so important to every pony? The Cakes exchanged a glance. We've got no idea, said Mrs. Cake. Do we, dear? None at all, said Mr. Cake. He took a quick peek out the window. I think they're too busy trying to fix up Zecora to have remembered you. You could probably leave out the back and not raise too much a fuss if you wanted. Will you be okay here? Cheerily asked. Oh, sure. We've seen the town do this plenty of times, Mrs. Cake said. You go. Cheerily made her exit through the storeroom. She tried to walk as casually as she could manage, like she was in no hurry to be anywhere, like she wasn't worried any pony would suddenly spot her, and like it was perfectly normal for almost every pony in town to be holding some kind of impromptu auction to determine who should be Zikora's special pony. Maybe my mother's not so bad after all, she thought. She never suggested I'd be perfect with a baby dragon after all. Cheerily was so lost in thought that she didn't hear the Pegasus touch down beside her. "Hi, Miss Cheerily," Derpy Hooves exclaimed. "Yeah!" Cheerily jumped away from the sound. "Oh, I'm sorry. Did I scare you? I didn't mean to." "No, it's okay." Cheerily took a deep breath to regain her composure. "I just thought you were going to try and set me up with some pony special." "Are they doing that again?" Ditzy indicated the flurry of activity in the market square. "You know about that? The crazy every pony must be in a relationship thing?" "Oh yeah, they tried it on me once." Cheerily was suddenly curious. She had never seen Ditzy with any pony that looked remotely like a special some pony. "What happened?" "Well, I ignored them, of course," she said matter-of-factly. "I've got deliveries to make and little Dinky to take care of. I don't have time to be getting into a relationship." "I know! Ponies think it's really easy to being a teacher, but it's a lot of work. Just because we have a long holiday when school is out for the summer. Like I'm not planning lessons all throughout my holiday." "I can imagine," Ditzy sympathized. "Just minding one foal is hard. I don't know what I'd do with a dozen or more." They shared a laugh. "So, Ditzy," Cheerily asked, "do you really just ignore every pony when they start talking about relationships?" "Sure do," she replied. "It's not hard. You just have to not engage with them and they won't end up like that." She cocked a hoof over her shoulder to the fray still going on in town. "I'll try that next time." "Thanks, Ditzy." "No problem. It's tough for us single ponies." "You've said it." Ditzy made to turn and fly off, but Cheerily stopped her. "Say, Ditzy." "Yeah, Miss Cheerily?" This is probably going to sound strange." "Any stranger than what your day's been so far?" "No, that's a good point." She took a breath. "Us single ponies have to look out for each other." "Mm-hmm." "Ditzy, how would you feel about us being single together?" A puzzled expression crossed her face. "I'm not really sure what that means." "Neither do I," Cheerily said with a grin. "And I'm betting every pony in town won't know what to make of it either." Ditzy started nodding slowly. "I think I see where you're going. We could be not in a relationship. Together." "That's right." "That's pretty tricky, Miss Cheerily." "So, what do you think?" "I think it's a great idea," Ditzy said with a big smile. The pair started walking away from the town side by side. "You know," Cheerily remarked, "this could be the beginning of a beautiful friendship."